Hello, hello. It's time for Fishing Friends. What's up, everybody? And welcome to an extra special episode of Fishing Friends, live from the Keystone Clash 2023 with Danny and Gina. I'm Danny.
And I'm Gina.
And man, this is going to be a good one because
Yeah.
I'm hoping everybody's going to come and crash the party and stuff. Because it is called Fish and Friends, there's more than just us here. I forgot to set a special banner for the Keystone Clash, but
There we go.
it's okay. I wasn't sure how much equipment they were gonna have for us here to use when they said that they were gonna have equipment for the YouTubers. They have this awesome background, which is pretty sweet. We got it kind of a close up, so you can't see the full background. But they got some lights here for us. There's also a microphone, and there was actually a webcam and stuff too. But the only thing they didn't have was like a computer, and so that was the thing that I was kind of thinking was gonna be here. So we're having to stream from my phone, which is just fine. But let's say hi to everybody here. Let's see, we got Scotty Aquati in the house, and Cave of Wonders is here. Jeff Kane, Mark Sterlson, Vinaski Fish Kodo. Great to see you guys. I left my soda over there. I'm gonna grab it real quick.
I got mine. But yeah, no, it's been so much fun. Silver Creek, hello, Sharkfin.
Ooh
What's
ha ha.
up, Sharkfin? Ooh ha ha. But yeah, no, it's been a blast. Oh my gosh, it's been so fun. Sorry, I kept hearing something at the door. I just can't believe it's already Saturday.
I
The end of
know.
Saturday.
It's like it's already like over.
Yeah.
You gotta head home tomorrow.
You can come in.
Yeah.
You're good. Oh, okay.
Okay, well you better come back later. We're here for 2 hours, so.
And then after you guys are off, then I'm off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure enough.
Alrighty.
Well, at the door, that was Garcia Aquatics. We're hoping he'll come back and crash the show a little bit later. Adam McReynolds is here. Mark Sterlson, Fish Fam Link. What's up, everybody? Yes, Gina is so pretty.
Thank you. I put my face on all weekend.
Yep, I got my Garcia Aquatics t-shirt, which is awesome. And we also got a whole lot of other stuff that we'll be showing you a little bit later. Or maybe, I don't know, do we want to start now showing all the cool stuff that we got?
Yeah, that's fine. We can just start with our stuff and then our experience.
Yeah. Well, I didn't originally plan on buying anything.
I did.
And, I mean, it just happens when you're at an awesome fish event like this.
And there's so much cool stuff. There's a good variety of products.
We got our tech guy Nathan here plugging in my phone so it doesn't die on us.
Yes. Show.
Show. Okay, well.
You go first.
Okay. Well, my weekend kind of started out. I was just kind of going through all the different areas in the vendor room, and I was kind of talking to a lot of the different people, just hanging out and having fun. And I ended up over at the API table with their representative, and he was just talking to me about stuff. And he had this little wheel. He was like, "Well, you want to spin the wheel?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, sure." And he's like, "Well, all you got to do is go on like Facebook and Instagram and follow us and all that stuff." And I was like, "Well, I don't have Facebook or Instagram." He's like, "Well, what do you do?" I'm like, "All I have is my YouTube channel." He's like, "Well, we're equal opportunity here." And he kind of started, talking about different stuff, and I was talking to him about how I actually use a lot of different API products, and I'm not sponsored by them at all. But after talking to him, he was kind of really talking to me about this Aqua Essential stuff, and it's their new all-in-one concentrated aquarium water conditioner. It not only does the chlorine, the chloramines, and the heavy metals like other water conditioners, but it also completely neutralizes and detoxifies the ammonia, the nitrite, and the nitrates, and you can actually see it be adjusted on your water tests and all that. I know with their old formula of like ammo lock with that would neutralize the ammonia, it would turn it into ammonium and kind of neutralize it, but it would still show up on your water tests. Well, this one apparently beats the water tests. And so he ended up just kind of handing it to me, and then I spun the wheel, and I ended up actually landing on this too. So I got the Aqua Essential free. So I figured I might as well call that out. But then yeah, I was exploring, and I really didn't want to buy some stuff, but I stumbled upon this vendor. I think it was Carol's Bettas. They import them from Indonesia, and they are just absolutely gorgeous. I had never seen one like this. I posted a short, and I posted some stuff on the community tab, but I'm not sure how well it's gonna come through on anything. But he's just absolutely gorgeous. He's got colors like a fully colored up male pygmy sunfish, and I just absolutely love it. Where he's got these nice electric blue fins, his body is all black, and then he's got these just random blue scales just all over with little spots. And then his pectoral fins are kind of reddish a little bit. So
So Sharkman says yes, the blue avatar beta.
blue avatar beta or
That would make sense.
black avatar. I don't know. He's really cool, and there's only one like him. And then there's this really cool plant place too. I don't remember the name of them. I think I might have grabbed a card, but I left that up in my room. But there's this really cool sword plant that I got. It's called a flame blue purple night sword. So it's got these really nice green stems, but then the actual leaves themselves are like this reddish purple, like really nice deep red sort of color. I just couldn't pass those up, and it actually stays small. It's a nice small sword, so I'm gonna put that in this guy's fishbowl that I make when I get back to the house. And I also picked up a Crypt Spiralis Red because I just really like these, and I want to get another one for my 55 gallon, and I hope that it grows all the way up to the surface because these guys getting really nice and big. And since I was getting the beta and stuff, I also picked up some alder cones, which came with another little bonus bag, so
Ooh,
Gina can have that
That's
for
what
her
goes in
shrimp
with my
tank.
shrimpy.
His shrimps like botanicals too. And now, to my surprise, because I haven't been super active on watching the YouTube stuff with the fish fam and all those different videos, I've been watching a lot of different things and all that. But Father Fish was here this weekend. I think he's still here.
Yeah, I think he just came today, right?
He came yesterday,
Oh, okay.
and oh my goodness, I'm so happy to see him, and he like set up his vendor thing, and so I got myself a wait, no, that's the Garcia Aquatic shirt again. I got myself a Father Fish shirt, of course, with that great Father Fish logo, and I picked up some Father Fish supplement so that when I make the fish bowl for this little guy, um, I'm gonna do a Father Fish style fish bowl and actually have real Father Fish supplement. And then I'm also gonna use this, put this in like little gel tabs and use it as root tabs to help supplement some of my other tanks too. So that's really
So
cool.
Sharkfin has a question really quick. What's the cost of the beta, if you don't mind sharing?
The beta was $40, which that's the same price you're gonna spend at like KG Tropicals website and pretty much any of these sort of events. That's pretty much what you're going to spend for a nice betta. Some will cost a little bit more than that. You might get a few that are cheaper than that, kind of the more average ones. But yeah, he's absolutely gorgeous. Never seen anything like him before, and I couldn't not get him.
Hmm.
My money just like hopped out of my wallet before I even realized what was going on. So, and then I decided to grab a couple other things too because I saw these and I was just like, those would be nice because I have my saltwater tank that I'm breeding my mollies in, and so I don't have a light on the tank. I don't have any corals, so I'm trying to decorate the hardscape as best as I can. So picked up a couple little snail shells that have some cool spikes on them, and they had barnacle clusters that
That's cool.
they use. Most people use these for like shell dwellers and stuff, but I just thought it was really really cool. It's an actual barnacle cluster where all the barnacles died, but this one in the middle here was a really nice big one. Like I can stick my whole like thumb. I could probably fit both my thumbs in there if the hole was a little bit bigger on the top. So that's a nice big cave. But I'll just put that in with the mollies and stuff, and maybe I'll get shrimp again in that tank when I get it a little bit more going with the mollies. I don't know. That's it, pretty much it for me. Yeah, I think I scored pretty good.
Sharkfin has another question about the father fish mix.
Oh, okay. So if the father fish mix you add to aqua soil or need to layer first, then put dirt on top for a planted tank. So it comes with directions, and you can order this directly from his online website, which you can get the link on his YouTube page. You just go to his homepage and like hit the links section. You can find his Shopify there, but it says right on the front, supplement 1 teaspoon per gallon and mix with 1 inch of soil, and then you cap the soil with 2 inches of sand. So you mix the supplement with the soil that you have, or whatever dirt, peat moss, whatever else you got. You just mix the supplement in it with it, and then you cap the sand on top of that. Or you can use it as like root tabs because it's just cool supplement stuff. You could, I guess, if you wanted to make it in like really thin layers, but yeah, it's 1 teaspoon per gallon. So if you're well, I guess you could just kind of sprinkle it
On the
along the
bottom.
bottom a little bit, kind of evened out, and then lay the dirt on top of that, and then do the sand. You could do that, but the way that his directions, it says to like mix it with the soil.
I wonder if it'll try to float, and that's why he wants you to mix it into maybe some damp soil
Well,
to kind of
I'm
saturate it a little bit.
maybe a little bit of it will float, but most of this stuff I've even used before. I just didn't mix to his exact measurements and stuff,
Ah.
but I used it's like Epsom salt and diatomaceous earth and some other things like that. So yeah, yeah, he's got a whole list of more directions in the back on what to do to actually make the full father fish aquarium, which I love. So it was really, really awesome to meet him. I'm honestly just a big fan of the guy. I like his YouTube channel, but just also I just think he's just a really, really awesome guy, and it's just fun to meet, super old people that just have all that knowledge from like 80 years of keeping fish, or well, maybe not 80 years for him, but close to that, I think. He's been keeping them for a long time. I don't know how old he actually is, but I was a little disappointed that he shaved though. I like his beard, and he just came with his little curly mustache.
Steven,
Stephen P, feel free to crash the party if you want to. The way I do it, soil, medium gravel, then sand. In between, I add powder supplements for the plants. Yeah, a little bit of gravel in there is fine. I don't typically add gravel into any new tank now, but if a tank has gravel in it, I will like cap it with sand. Because
Yeah.
I've just become a huge fan of sand. People are like, oh, you can't grow plants in sand, but I grow plants in sand all the time.
Do it works. Is it my turn?
It's Gina's
It's my
turn. Show us
turn.
what you got.
So first, I guess I didn't get it first. But I have these little axolotl earrings. Look how freaking cute they are. And then I have an axolotl plush. He's a little gray guy with green gills. Super cute.
And the green stripe all the way
And
down
a
the
green
back.
stripe all the way down the back. And ooh, I got those to match my Snaxolotl shirt. Oh my gosh, there we go. Snaxolotl. So I match. Outfit is complete with accessories. At the same place I got the earrings, I also got these little seahorse earrings, which are super cute. I forgot to wear them when I wore my seahorse shirt earlier, but it's fine. I'll do it next time. I also got this really cool anglerfish necklace. You can kind of see it. It's labeled as monster fish, which is kind of funny to me. But it's an anglerfish.
Nice.
I got a little croc charm. It's a seahorse for my Crocs. I wear Crocs, yes, but as house shoes, okay? I don't wear them out usually. I wish I snapped a picture. I had a picture on it with a little Lego, and it's a turtle terrarium. So I'll probably put this together on live stream.
Yeah, this table had a lot, 3 different little bitty Lego sets.
Yeah, this one was the bigger one. It was probably about this big.
Yep.
Yeah, tiny.
The bigger one was like the turtle tank, yep. And then they had 2 little bitty ones. One was a fish tank, and one was like a lobster tank.
It was so cute. It was between the turtle or the lobster was what I was fighting myself about. But she said she only had one turtle left. And I'm like, well, there we go. I have to go with the turtle.
Windmill Family Restaurant. I was wanting to try that place, but I didn't want to go just by myself. I wanted to kind of go with a group, and I never found a group that wanted to get food the same time I wanted to get food. So I went to McDonald's and Taco Bell, and I just got food that I can get anywhere.
And then I hit up Crypt Keeper's table. I got a crypt. You read what it is because I can't read it.
Oh, it's a red Wentii, Crypticorn Wentii DeWitt.
Yeah, what he said. I asked Chris, I was like, hey, so I need more plants for my shrimp tank, low light, because it's got frog bit all across the top. And he said, any of the crypts except for the pink flamingo. So I was like, okay, this one. I literally just picked one off the table.
Nope.
And then he's got, I forgot who he said 3D prints these, but it's a shrimp stick cone holder. So like the little shrimp, like from Crayfish Empire, the shrimp sticks, it holds that. And it's
Which
really cute.
we all got little shrimp sticks in our little
And our goodie
goodie bags that we got.
I feel like that was it from Chris. And then I hit up Sam Scales, his art booth.
Sam Scales is awesome, and he had great
Yes.
prices on prints.
Oh my gosh, so good. So this is the blue ring octopus. And then there was also a flamboyant cuttlefish.
Nice.
Yeah. These are the 2 salty things he had. Everything else I think, or at least what I saw, these were the only salty things. Yeah. And then at the end, or I guess first booth in the aisle, I was the last booth in the aisle. Austin's Aquatic Art. And I got a cherry shrimp. Very, very cute. Yeah, I always try to support the artists whenever I see them and I, can afford their art. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get his contact information because I really do like that flamboyant cuttlefish.
Oh,
but I want to get one on
a bigger one.
And I want to get a big one on canvas.
Yes.
So I wanted to have him. I want to commission him to give me something good.
Vans are made for flat feet, and DC shoes, Converse, Chucks. Crocs are made for the movie Idiocracy. So yep, all wearing idiot shoes. Yeah, the costume designer.
But they are really good for
there's-
people that do have flat feet, though.
Yes.
Which there are people that have flat feet.
Well, and I have
Not me,
falling.
though.
Well, I have falling arches, so that's why I can't wear them long term. But around the house, they're super comfortable.
I have a high foot arc, so I have to wear other sorts of insoles. to
Well, yeah, no,
raise my
yeah,
heel.
that's what I mean. Is that I have an arch, but if I don't have support, they start to fall, and then my feet get all
Oh yeah.
tight and hurt. I can't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Brandon, let's go, Brandon. Those are pieces are so. Oh, those art pieces are so
They
cool.
are
Yeah.
so cool. Hopefully, this means that I'll start actually hanging some of the art up in my house. My walls are very bare.
I have huge arches.
I think you
Wear
meant
them
to say
all
high
the time.
arches.
Yeah, like really high arches. Yeah. If I didn't wear Crocs, I'd be barefoot. Well, see, why don't you just go barefoot? That's what I do.
Growing up, that's all I did. I had such thick calluses by the end of summertime. Because, yeah, all summer, just never wear shoes.
Yep.
Never wear shoes.
We got 20 people watching. It's
Holy
awesome.
shit!
Make sure to smash that like, send out that notification to everybody else. But no, man, this has just been a lot of fun.
It's been so much
It
fun.
reminds me of a lot of different fish events I've been to. This will be my third fish event. The first one that I went to 2 years ago was the ACA in St. Louis, and that one was a lot of fun. But it was really small because that was like the first show since the pandemic and stuff had gone down. So a lot of people were still nervous about traveling and all that. And I think, yeah, St. Louis had just gotten rid of the mask mandate and all that. So we didn't have to wear masks, which was nice. But yeah, it was small, but it was a lot of fun. And then last year was the Triple Crown, which was like the equal and opposite. Like it was the same as the ACA, but incredibly huge.
Right.
All the speakers and different events and the banquet dinner and all that stuff. Whereas, this one was, a lot similar to those, but it was kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
Not huge, but not super small. A lot of people showed up. It was great to meet all the different fish tubers over here on the East Coast. Especially getting to meet Patty.
I know Patty is such a hoot.
Patty
Oh my
is
God.
she. At least my impression of her, she's so much different in person than she is in chat. Like, and now I think I'm gonna understand her in chat a little bit more, and I think she's gonna understand me in chat a little bit more.
Yep.
Because yeah, Patty's a lot of fun.
She's so fun.
And
her and Maria Z are yeah,
yeah,
together.
her and Maria Z, and then when you get Stephanie from Aquaria Life, when you get all three of them together,
Oh my
it's
God.
just insane.
You just stand back and you just watch. You're just like, I keep going. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
They're all
just gonna
going
watch.
around with their thermoses full of not coffee.
Yep. Hey man, we're here to have fun.
Of course. Of course.
But yeah, no, it's so cool, and everybody's been so nice. So Nathan and I were talking about it. So I've been working the vendor booth, all weekend. My vendor booth. I was just telling Nathan, I'm like, I just realized not one person tried to haggle me all weekend. Like nobody argued the prices. Like
Nope.
I was expecting. I get it more at my day to day, in the store every day than I did this, those last 2 days. Also, the kids have been really well behaved. I don't think I've seen a temper tantrum all weekend from.
No, the kids have all been well
Yeah.
behaved. There hasn't been necessarily a lot of kids, but you know, it's kind of what it is right now in the fish keeping community. There's a lot of old timers.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few of us kind of in the middle here, and then there's very few young ones, but that's just kind of how this generation is too. A lot of us don't necessarily have a lot of kids, so we don't have kids to bring to the events with us. But those of us that did have kids too, like Gina and Stephen P and all that, they wanted to take the vacation to get away from the kids, not bring the kids with them. So
Yeah.
plus, I don't think their kids are as interested in aquariums as they are. So, but we got to get the kids into it, and that's what's fun about these events. We got to bring the kids in, and there was a give a kid a fish tank thing that was going on after the aquascaping contest, which is pretty cool because they brought all the kids together and they got to learn about the nitrogen cycle and how to set up a fish tank, and they got to decorate their. Sorry, I got the hiccups. They got to decorate their fish tank and all that, and then they got to take it home with them and all that. I believe all that was donated by fish tubers and other donation people, and everything through the Keystone Clash was donated to the kids. I don't think the kids had to pay for anything for those fish tanks, as far as I know. But what was really the aquascaping contest? Oh my gosh! So I'm really disappointed I didn't enter. I really, really wish I would have entered and spent that extra money to enter because I didn't like really think about it. It was only $75 to enter. And then you get take home this really, really nice rimless. I think it's actually like a 17 or 18-gallon tank on how much water it holds, but it would probably be labeled as a 20 high. And so you get to take that and everything you put in the tank as far as creating your aquascape and all that, you get to take home. And you can stock it if you want to, but that's up to you. You buy the fish, but then you take the fish home because they're yours because you bought them. But yeah, for $75, with all the substrate and the wood and the rock, and you get the Awaze filter and which has the heater built into it. Like you get all that stuff. All the plants too were donated. Like you can more or less build your own 20-gallon dream tank for $75 and you get to take it home.
Yep.
Hi, Julie. Great for you to jump in here. Julie's my friend that I always go hang out with on Friday nights.
Oh.
She's my ex fiance's mother. So I've worn many shoes: Reebok, Saucony, Adidas. Oh, we're still talking about shoes here in chat. Great.
I like Saucony.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm wearing now.
I just buy.
Yes, Saucony. I like them.
I just buy shoes wherever I'm at when I need to buy shoes. I used to buy shoes at Target, but now, I haven't liked Target's shoe section in the last couple of years anyway, and I don't want to go shopping there anymore. So I'm gonna have to find somewhere to buy shoes. But when it comes to me with shoes, I just want them to be black and comfortable. So
My sister used to work at a podiatrist office, and yeah, she said Skechers, Saucony, and Asics are usually what they recommend. So
now when I want to get like actual like running shoes or something like that, I do tend to go with like Skechers or something like that. And when I was in high school, I did cross country, and like I went to a specialized shoe store to get super lightweight running shoes, and I got my cross country spikes and all that. And man, those shoes, like I'm telling you, I don't know what they made those shoes out of, what fabric or whatever they used, but those shoes were so incredibly lightweight. I swear my shoes probably weighed as much as this shell does in my hand. Both shoes together.
yeah,
Just crazy.
that's crazy. I really liked. I did get on the Vessi. I did get a pair of Vessies whenever like everybody on YouTube was sponsored by them.
Oh yeah.
They are really waterproof and they breathe really well. I switched back to these shoes, and I remember like the first week after I did, I get home, take my shoes off, and Nathan's like, "Your feet stink," and I'm like, "Why did my feet suddenly start stinking?" And I realized it's because these shoes don't breathe as well as the Vessies did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I keep wanting to get another pair because they're starting to fall apart, but they don't have green every time I look for them. And green's my favorite color.
Yeah.
They have stupid white or black ones, but I'm like, I don't want white or black shoes.
I tried those like indestructible shoes that you sometimes see on like Facebook ads and stuff like
Mhm.
that, where you see them take like the chainsaw to the toe and
Oh.
all that and run over it with the car. And I tried those, and yeah, the shoes were pretty darn indestructible. The steel toe was super thick and all that, and I could kick anything I wanted, but the steel toe itself, the shoe was kind of made out of a soft but super indestructible fabric of some sort that was braided really
Hmm.
strong, and so it was flexible and breathable. And so sometimes the steel toe would kind of irritate the top of my toes, but
Oh.
but yeah, you could like I've hit him crazy and kicked it a lot, but eventually the fabric on the toe kind of tore. So yeah, the steel toe was great, and I never got hurt from that. But yeah, the shoe kind of did start breaking, so it wasn't completely indestructible like what they show you, but they're like stomping on the nails and all that different stuff.
Yeah, when he got those shoes, he kicked me and left a bruise on me. Zenny, that's a good idea. Get the white ones and hydro dip them in green swirls.
Yeah, Hydro dip.
Yeah.
Fishing outdoors with Lando. Great to see you guys. Thanks everybody for joining us. Um, I think probably the most comfortable shoes I ever got, and I just never ended up getting more, even though these started kind of falling apart because I just wore them so much. I wore them everywhere, and I loved them. But they were kind of expensive, so I never ended up getting another pair. But it was the Fila, or yeah, I think Fila. No, not Fila. Well, I tried Fila ones. Fila came out with these four finger ones or four toed shoes that had the pinky and the ring toe like together. But I actually ended up getting the Vibram five toed shoes. And I'm telling
Oh.
you, like I didn't have a lot of toe socks. I always want to wear socks with my shoes because I just don't like the feeling of my barefoot rubbing up against the shoe. I just like to wear socks, and I didn't have a whole lot of pairs of toe socks, but I would just wash them all the time
Right?
until they wore out. But yeah, the shoes eventually wore out because I just wore them so much. I loved the feeling of my toes being free
Hmm.
and the movement, and like you wouldn't think it would make that much of a difference. But like when you're like doing this sort of like movement side to side and you can feel your whole foot just shift
Yeah.
and keep like full control. Like when you can feel that grip on your
Mhm.
pinky toe.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's really nice.
Huh. Yeah, I don't think I've ever even tried those on before. So
Yeah.
yeah, I have no idea. But I
Well,
could
have you
see
ever
it. I could
worn
imagine.
like toe
Toe
socks
socks,
and
yeah.
felt what that feels like?
Hmm.
Like yeah, so the toe shoes they were made of like strong but very thin material too, so it was like super flexible and breathable. But yeah, the area in between the toes uh, was kind of like a nylon type material, and when I was wearing them out doing some like woods hiking and stuff like that, I ended up getting like a stick that kind of broke through the nylon at one point, so they started kind of falling apart, and so I just kind of stopped wearing them.
Yeah. So anything you notice about Pennsylvania itself versus at home?
Oh, stuff is more expensive here.
Well, yeah. It,
My Taco Bell cost me $5 more than it does at home.
oh, I didn't pay attention to McDonald's though. Did you? I think it was like
I
20,
didn't pay attention to
22,
my McDonald's bill either, but I noticed it at Taco Bell.
like 26. We did also get something different. I made sure I got Happy Meal, so I got Pokemon cards.
Oh yeah.
They have a Pokemon run right now.
Right.
But I noticed it's a lot windier.
Well,
Like
we're kind of
constant.
going through a hurricane right
Oh,
now.
right. Okay, that's
If you
fair.
look at I was walking past the television where I could see the radar, and yeah, there's like hurricane stuff going on over here on the
Oh.
East Coast right now. So that's what kind of we're dealing with. I'm sure it's not necessarily typically windier. Well, it probably just is because it's the coast.
Yeah.
I like I said in last week's live stream, I didn't realize how close to the coast we were actually going. as far as in Pennsylvania. I didn't also realize geographically that Pennsylvania was so close to the actual coast itself. And on the way here, I took a detour to avoid the toll roads that Gina and Nathan didn't take.
Nope, we're gonna be paying the toll.
They went straight through. I went back down south into West Virginia and then cut through Maryland and then came back up into Pennsylvania. And man, that drive, there was literally signs everywhere posted the scenic route. Like it really was the scenic route. It was absolutely gorgeous going down through there and coming through like the mountains. And I passed through this area where there's this really, really high stone wall that the road went through, and there was just a rainbow of colors in this stone wall with
Oh,
this
yeah.
yellow and this red. Absolutely gorgeous, and I was like, I wanted to stop and start collecting rocks.
Right. Oh yeah, the rock. Yeah, the cliff edges that they cut out for the roads. The dirt is a lot more red in some parts, and then I think further out in like just outside, or maybe right when you enter Pennsylvania, it's really dark, like really
Yeah.
dark brown,
Like
like
the
almost
color.
like this. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was
Like
almost
super
thinking
dark.
the stone, the marbling and the different
Yeah.
colors in the stone looked like the flamboyant cuttlefish picture.
Yeah. Right.
Like the oranges and the purples and the blacks and all these different colors. It was amazing.
Yeah, there are these rolling hills, really hilly area, and they were doing construction stuff, and there's some exposed earth, and it's super red, and I was like, that's gotta be super clay, like clay dense soil, and I'm like,
Or iron dense.
Nathan, we should pull over and fill up the 5-gallon bucket with it on the way home. So I
Yeah,
can
that's some iron dense
go
rock.
study it. What's in this dirt?
Yeah.
No, it's funny because when Shelby was in St. Louis, Shelby and Grant were in St. Louis. We went on a hike with Lady Diane, and I thought it was so funny when she stopped on the trail when we hiked at St. Stanislaus. She stopped and she picked up some dirt. She's like, what is this? And I was like, it's dirt. What are you talking about? Now I understand.
Yeah.
Going somewhere else and seeing different dirt. I'm just like,
Well, yeah,
oh,
because
touch it. What is this?
our dirt almost looks like the Father
Yeah.
Fish supplement. It's
Yep.
really, really good dirt.
It is. But yeah, I just wanted to go out and touch it. And be like, what is? I understand now. I can empathize with Shelby.
Yeah, exactly. When you go to a completely different area of the United States, the soil is completely different. And it's really cool. Actually, in St. Louis, we have a destination, the botanical gardens, where they have a big greenhouse and a whole bunch of outdoor gardens and all this stuff too. But in like the indoor like learning center, they have a section where they actually show all the different states and what the soil looks like up to, I think, like 10 foot deep. So they do all the different layers of the soil. It's really, really cool.
I think the Science Center has a section too. They have a whole agricultural section.
Yeah.
In the like if you go past the gift shop back behind there, they have a whole agriculture, and I think they have a display like that too. Yeah,
Or maybe
really
it was
cool.
at the Science Center that I saw that too. I'm not 100% sure.
It makes sense.
It was somewhere in like Forest Park, downtown St. Louis. Well, I'm not sure how familiar any of you guys are with St. Louis at all, but we have this big area that we call Forest Park. It's basically the St. Louis's version of like Central Park.
Yep.
But ours is it's much larger than Central Park, I think, and it actually has like all of our museums and the St. Louis Zoo and the Science Center.
The Muni.
So and the Muni, meet me at the Muni, which probably none of you have ever heard that
At Forest Park.
that jingle before, because probably just the St. Louis thing.
Probably.
But
But
yeah,
it's an outdoor theater.
yeah.
It's great.
And then there's like lakes where you can go fishing and stuff too. There's a nice big walking trail. And when I was in high school and did cross country, we would sometimes go there to run the trail, because I think it was like, I don't know, it's like 5 miles all the way around or something like
I
that.
don't know.
I don't know. There's a couple different paths you can take too to get like shortcuts or longer routes, and sometimes we'd go different ways. Yeah, my sport used to be other people's punishment.
Yeah, I don't run. Not willingly.
I don't run anymore.
Um,
As everybody that came and actually met me here at the Keystone Clash could see, I definitely don't run anymore.
so I saw Silver say something like, "Oh, by the way, happy fall."
Yes,
The leaves
today.
are starting to turn here. I can only imagine what it is in full fall
Yeah,
colors, but it's
I'm sure.
already pretty.
I'm sure some of my plants are ready to harvest as soon as I get home. And my brother came over, I think last night, and checked on my animals, or maybe he did it today, and checked on my animals because he texted me today about how it's like you don't seem to have as many pets as you used to anymore, and it is a little disappointing. I don't. I did get up to 20 fish tanks at one point, but now I still have 10 running. Um, well, actually, I think like 8 that are like full on running, and like 2 are still just kind of semi set up. But one of them I'm gonna redo for my betta here, one of my fish bowls, because it's just kind of sitting there, and gonna do the father's fish style fish bowl with him. And but it's like I still got my parakeets, and I got my cat, and I got my lizard, but he didn't see my parakeets because my sister has them, which gosh, I think I might have said it in the live stream on the way here, but I'm not quite sure how good the sound was coming through. But I had a whole fiasco trying to get my parakeets over to my sister's house because my cage that a friend gave me, which is an awesome cage, is actually made for like a conure, but like a little bit bigger bird. But I got 2 parakeets, so it gives them a little bit of room to kind of fly around in the cage. It's a little bit too tall to fit into my little small little Hyundai Veloster. If I could have taken the front seat out, it would have fit perfectly. But with the seats in, and even in the trunk hatchback area, it was just like 2 inches, 3 inches too tall. And so I ended up having to like pull the tray out from the bottom and lay that in the back. And then I took the whole cage and just put it sideways. And so the ride to my sister's house probably was not as easy as it would have been for my parakeets, and a little bit more stressful than it should have been for them and me. But now I know that that cage does not fit in my car properly. So if I want to take them to and from places, I'm gonna have to put them into a smaller cage, or just deal with it as is, or get like a U-Haul or something like that when I want to move, versus trying to move them in my car. So
Yeah. Mickey
Mickey.
had a question. Did you see anybody with nice peat moss?
Anyone selling fiber peat at the Clash? Over here, it is hard to find a good peat for filtration, or if you use as spawning material for killing tanks. Um, there might have been. It was really nice to see the Pharrell fish family here.
Yes, the Pharrells were here.
Brienne and Dave and all the other
I think there was 4 of 'em.
Olivia,
Yeah,
and
their mom,
I'm
right?
I'm I'm blanking on her name right now. Yeah, the mom's name.
I'm terrible with names. Don't ask me.
Susan? No,
Uh,
no, that doesn't sound right. And they had a whole lot of different stuff, all their different worms and green water and vinegar
mhm.
eels and all that different stuff. But there was a lot of different like scaping things, lots of different wood. There was somebody that had a really cool terrarium set up
Mhm.
for uh mimic uh
Oh,
mimic dart frogs.
poison dart frog. Yeah, mimic poison
So
dart
they're
frogs.
not actually like poison dart frogs, but they look like them. And he had a lot of different stuff. And KGE Aquatics had so many different botanicals.
So many.
Uh, I almost bought botanicals from them, but I got a deal on this bag through like Maria Z and all that. She was helping this gentleman close down, and she's like, "Here, take this, and here, get a deal for it." And all that.
Nice.
It was pretty fun. But yeah, KGE had like all different sorts of leaves, all different sorts of like cones and seed pods. There's other people that had like larger seed pods and stuff, like the monkey pod, coconuts, and all these different things for like hides and larger botanicals and your pistos and stuff like that. Your cave guys, all these different cool things.
You know what I remember seeing that I really wish I had a Pleco so I could get it? Where those like see-through like glass looking caves.
Yeah, there
Those
was
were
this
so
lady
cool.
that I walked up on and I saw her kind of breaking it out, and I'm just like, I'm just a little confused here. Like, what's going on here? And it's like, well, it's recycled glass, and it's like little like fish caves. I'm like, oh my gosh, like
So
I'm
you
so
can see
stupid for
them.
not seeing that because as soon as she said it, like there it is. Like so,
Yeah.
yeah, she used recycled glass from like broken bottles and stuff, and would like glue it or not glue it. I'm sure she would like do some sort of like glass welding or something to like get it to make little caves, and they were kind of random and like spiky in different areas too, kind of cool accenty and
But they weren't sharp. They didn't look sharp.
definitely not
They
sharp. No,
definitely looked polished.
everything
Like,
was smooth. She might have even coated it all with some sort of resin or something.
yeah, to smooth it out.
I'm
Yeah.
not 100% sure exactly how she did it, but it was a great way to use recycled glass and made these cool, all different size caves for your fish that you could actually see through. And she made like some different like sun catcher things and jewelry and stuff like that too. Lots of cool stuff. But as far as specifically seeing peat moss, I did not see it. Um, but I have seen peat moss at like Home Depot around here. I'm not sure if you have any sort of general like big home improvement store that sells like plants and rocks and things like that for landscaping and gardening and all that over there in um, Sweden, but I'm sure you got something like that.
I'm trying to think of what else I saw that was really cool. And I have to say about those glass caves, he says that they're recycled glass, but they don't look cheap at all. Like
No.
they're not just chunks of glass glued. Like it looks very well done. Very
Yeah.
like I almost thought it
Kind
was
of like
cast,
mosaic like.
yeah, I almost thought it was like cast resin at first.
Yeah.
Like someone like made a mold and then poured resin to make it.
Yeah, because some of
Yeah.
them look so similar that I really thought, yeah, at first it was like a mold.
Hmm.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
And then I touched it. I'm like, oh shit, that's glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they were so cool. Oh, the Garden Eater, Grant Shelby, had me scape a little Pico, like quarter-gallon, uh, like tank and sump, like little replica that
PNW
PNW
Customs makes these little micro tanks. There's like a 40-ounce version that has a tank above with an overflow and a like inflow tank with a sump underneath.
fully functional.
Fully
sump.
functional with a little bitty pump that you can pump the water back in.
Yep.
And so, yeah, she brought cycled material or little cycled
Like
media
ceramic,
balls.
yep.
And I walked over when she had first set up her table, and I see her with super glue and little bitty rocks,
These little
and
tiny
she's
little
making this
pebbles.
little bitty like. It was really, really well done and awesome with all these little arches and stuff in
Yeah.
the rock. And she had brought a little like mushroom coral cluster, but unfortunately didn't make it through the trip. Something through the traveling and the darkness or something.
Which is really weird because softies are usually supposed to be pretty resilient. And I was actually like at least 10 little tiny mushrooms that I went around the store to find the smallest ones I could. Yeah, I lifted up the bag and they're just brown and falling apart. And I'm like, what the heck? And then I freaked out because Scuba Stevo requested coral, stony coral. So I freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, Steve's. His all his were fine. His were fine. I don't know what happened. I guess something.
And how long were they in the bag?
Like 12 hours.
Yeah, so that's not even that long. They get shipped longer in the bag than that.
But
so
yeah,
something
I guess
must
something
have been off with
shifted.
the water parameters,
Yeah.
or maybe they shifted it kind of.
Maybe one got smashed and
Yeah.
disintegrated and ended up.
I mean, these
swinging.
corals are animals. They're not plants. They're gonna act a little bit differently, and then.
But
I don't know.
luckily, I actually brought some macroalgae for Grant and Shelby. So I just took some little scraps of that and I escaped the tank with that. And Grant came over to me after all said and done today. He goes, I am so disappointed in myself. I didn't get any pictures of it. Did you get pictures of it? I'm like, I sure didn't.
I did.
Oh, you did? Oh, thank God.
I did not get pictures. I got video.
That's close enough.
So, speaking of video and all that stuff, I got plenty of video of showing the vendor room, and I'll just kind of make like a general like, here I am at the Keystone Clash video. But I'm definitely gonna make a video as well of me making this tank for this betta fish here. But another video that I'm gonna make, I took a lot of like action shots of the entire aquascaping contest. So at some point soon, when I get home and all that, hiccups again.
Oh, sorry.
Ah,
Trying to pull up chat. I'm sorry.
Pulling up chat on the phone, yeah. So I will be making an entire video of the aquascaping contest, showing everybody building their tanks, giving you all the different angles of how they were doing it while they were doing it, going all the way through every step, all the way until the winners. Now, I might still get everybody together to actually have the 3 people stand next to their tanks and get a shot like that. But recently they had like turned all the lights off, so I was able to go in there and get some really nice pictures and some close-ups of the tanks without all the additional glares, other than a few glares from all the other tanks around it that were on too. But there's, I think, there was like 12 people in the contest,
I think so.
and my favorite person, which I'm not going to release who that is because I'm sure some people might have already released who's won and all that stuff, but I'm not going to say who got first, second, third, any of that stuff. But I will say definitely all 12 tanks were something that I would have loved to have in my house.
Yeah.
They were,
I actually
they were,
didn't see any of them because I was working my table. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to have to watch your video once you post
They
it.
they were all absolutely gorgeous tanks. I'm not sure if anybody's released anything on. I released one on a short that you guys might have seen, but that wasn't even my favorite one. My personal favorite got second place, and one of my second favorite ones, well, it didn't even place, but I will. Oh man, I'm not going to say anything more because
Next week. Next
it
week
is
we'll talk about
such.
it.
There was such an awesome contest, and I wish I would have participated. But having not participated, I was able to, without anybody else complaining, since there was only like one person in the contest that wasn't a YouTuber. Nobody was complaining about me going around with my phone filming everything.
Right.
The only thing is they were not wanting to like get in my way.
Right.
And I was like, no. Like, pretend like I'm not here. I like to get the action shots. I don't want you to be like, no, stay away. Like,
Right.
you escape your tank and you do it, and I'm gonna film around you.
If you run into me, it's my fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shove me out of the way.
If I'm in your way, you just get me out.
Shove me out. Chirp me out, but like, watch the face.
Why are we always yelling? What's up, dude?
Huawei. How do we say it? Huawei.
My fam got a house 300 kilometers far out in the middle of Sweden, northeast from Stockholm. Nice.
Yeah, somebody else had a question about peat moss.
Well,
I think it was Mickey M.
okay.
Yeah, a little bit further up because Jeff tried to answer. There we go.
We can buy peat at outdoor garden shops, but it's often just mold. I need the peat with long fibers in it. I'll have to go to the forest bogs of the countryside house next summer to find. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of mostly what I find too. It's because and that's generally it's with the shipping process. It's not even so much that they don't have the large fibers. It's that by the time it gets to the stores, that peat moss is so dang dry that it just like disintegrates in the bag and turns into powder.
Yeah.
So
Or is that something that you could like slowly like rehydrate and get back to being full and
yeah.
then slowly acclimate it by adding more and more water?
Now, see, that's something you might be able to do too. I know you might not be able to find actual peat moss, but something that's really close to it that kind of works in the same way. You can find if you go to like certain pet stores, they might have that coconut husk that you can rehydrate, and you'll get some longer fibers out of that. But yeah, it's still pretty powdery, and you'd have to like put that in some sort of like baggie and use that in filter as far as like buffer your soft water and to reduce pH. But you wouldn't be able to use that as like in the tank to spawn your killifish. So
Do you mind? Is it okay? Is it
no,
gonna
go
gross you out
ahead.
too much?
No, go ahead. So there's this thing going. I guess that I wasn't fully informed of. I guess nobody likes cottage cheese here
Yeah.
in the fish fam. So Gina and Vibes have been eating their cottage cheese. I don't necessarily hate cottage cheese. I gotta be in the right. I think I said it before, but I gotta be in the right mood for cottage cheese. And most of the time, by the second bite, I'm no longer in the mood for cottage cheese. So I just don't really eat it.
This one's a little bit different than what I get at home. It's a little bit sweeter, but still good.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm still
I don't know.
gonna
I
eat it.
might like that one more because while
It's
I
not
don't,
as
I don't really like cottage cheese that much. I will take cream cheese and just get a big old spoonful
Oh, I
and just
love
eat that. When I was
Mm.
younger, whenever we'd go to my grandparents' house on my mother's side, they would get the block of cream cheese and she would just keep old popsicle sticks and she would just cut up like little rectangles of the cream cheese and put it on the popsicle stick. And we loved our cheese on a stick. We would always be asking grandma for cheese on a stick. Bringing
Zen is
in
very offended.
Gina. How very dare you?
Hey, man.
By the way, that was Vibes popping in right behind us. If you guys didn't recognize him, bringing Gina the freaking cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese.
She's also here eating candy corn.
A whole ass bag.
Why don't you put the candy corn in your cottage cheese
Oh,
and
no.
really piss people
No,
off?
that's too far.
That's too far.
That's too far. Even for me.
Yep. Oh man. I'm not excited to start driving home tomorrow.
Don't.
I am so glad we're splitting the trip up. Like, sucks for you because you're doing it all.
I don't have to do it all, so I did take Monday off,
Yeah,
but I would like to be home
for a full
tomorrow
day.
night so I can sleep
Decompress.
and wake up and like edit the video and get that
That's
aquascaping
true.
contest out
Yep.
and start working on the tank for this guy because after that it's right back to work. And I already told my boss that I'll work my Monday route Saturday, so I'm not gonna have a long weekend afterwards. So when I get back home, it's pretty much right back to life after Monday. So I want to get home as soon as possible so I have as long of a Monday as possible to decompress and do as much.
No, I don't need another one. Thank you. I'll take it. I'll have it for breakfast. Yeah, we're gonna stop halfway. I've already booked that hotel. We're gonna stop halfway so then we can sleep, catch up on some sleep. Last night we didn't have as much problem sleeping. But the first night, I guess because we weren't on our fancy sleep number bed.
Yeah.
We both kept waking up during the night. Also, is the freaking AC super loud in your room?
No, it's not loud
Oh
enough.
my gosh! Oh my god!
I forgot to bring my fan, so I'm glad that the AC just kind of runs all. Well, you can set it to where you just have the fan going on all the time, and it's pretty much the perfect level of how loud it is for me.
No, it's noticeable when it's on and when it's off.
I just keep mine on all the time because I just want the sound of the fan.
Yeah.
But I didn't book a hotel for on the way home. I can't afford it. I already might have spent too much money. I know I'm going to be able to afford to drive home, but I hope I have enough money to make it through the rest of the week. But let's see, outdoor adventure vlogs. Hey Danny, what fish should I start off with? And some about cream cheese. Oh, same about cream cheese. Cream cheese is awesome.
So good.
Some people eat peanut butter like that. I'm not a huge fan of peanut butter. I do like peanut butter
I
in
have to be in the
certain
mood.
conditions, but cream cheese, oh my god.
Dude,
My favorite snack when I got the munchies is pretzels with cream cheese.
I can improve it. We just saw a TikTok, and we have a smoker. If you don't have a smoker, they'll smoke a block of
Oh
cream
yeah.
cheese. So you put like whatever kind of your favorite rub is, rub seasoning over the top, and then do they foil wrap it or just straight on the grill?
I mean,
Straight
yeah.
on the smoker, and you smoke it for like an hour.
Yeah, I mean, if we're making a full-on thing,
Yeah, put it on a
I'm
tray.
gonna add a little bit of sour cream to the cream cheese to make it a little bit thinner.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna add some jalapenos, and we're gonna have like a spicy cream cheese dip because that's really really good. And as you let it sit overnight in the fridge, all the jalapeno flavor just infuses
Oh.
into the cream cheese, and
Yep.
it's just so good. But what fish should you start off with? Well, outdoor adventure vlogs. Are you looking to go outdoors? Are you looking to go indoors? Uh, what size tank are you willing to start off with? How much space do you have? There's a lot of different questions involved because depending on what size tank you have, there's a lot of different fish you can start off with. If you're wanting to start off with something small, my absolute favorite fish that just I cannot seem to get away from is betta fish.
Mhm.
They're so easy to take care of, and when you give them the best care that you can, they can live for a good long time, and they're just you can make some really awesome tanks for them, and they don't take up a lot of space. And you can get all different sizes tanks for them too. You can get like a small like 4 gallon like fish bowl and do fish bowl style. You can get one of those like 12-gallon bookshelf tanks that are like really long but like thin because bettas do like a little bit of swim space, but they don't like they're uncomfortable in deep water.
Mhm.
They like swim space, but they don't like deep water. Anything over like a foot deep, they start getting uncomfortable. I wouldn't recommend anything deeper than like a 55 or a 75. Once you start getting up to like a 90-gallon tank with a bed of fish or like a big sorority or something like that, they're kind of lazy. They don't have a lot of excessive energy, and that's also why sometimes they just end up like dying and stuff in people's tanks because they have their filters set too high. But in such a deep tank, they like to swim up to the surface and they are completely worn out from going to the bottom where they want to sit and be lazy, swimming all the way up to the top to get to the surface. So if you're gonna put them in something deeper than that, they gotta have like resting places, lots of plants, a nice high built aquascape. You don't want, all that extra water and stuff. But let's see, what has he said? Indoor, betta, guppies, goldfish, and a kind of small tank. Okay, well if you're saying goldfish, you're definitely not talking about a small tank.
Nope.
Because even just one uh like fancy goldfish, I would recommend at least a 40-gallon breeder for just one. Maybe you could put two or three in there if they're part-time fancy goldfish. But even those guys, the bubble eyes, the lion
Fantail.
heads, the fantails, all of them, they're still gonna get the size of a softball.
Yep.
And if you're in the United States, you know how big a softball is. If you're not in the United States, I don't know if you know how big a softball is. We'll say like I don't know the size of
Like a grapefruit?
like a grapefruit.
Yep.
Yeah, like the size of a grapefruit, maybe even the size of like a small like melon. They
Yeah, like
get
a
pretty.
seedless watermelon. Yeah.
Yeah, like a seedless watermelon, or what is the water uh not watermelon, the I don't know, honeydews or something like that, whatever. I don't know.
Honeydews are a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Uh,
So, but yeah, they probably like females could probably definitely get the size of a honeydew.
yeah, I mean like 40 to 900 gallon. Okay. You meant 90. That's what I figured you meant was a 90. Um I would definitely go. I love a 40 breeder. You can't go wrong with a 40 breeder. If you're gonna go as big as a 90 gallon, okay. So small tank, start with the betta fish.
Yeah, 900-gallon school of Oscars would be sweet.
Oh yeah,
That
a
would
900 gallon
go.
school of Oscars would be awesome, especially if you got like the wild type, because they interact even like better than like a lot of the different like ornamental Oscars and stuff. That's the ones you typically see in the pet stores. Cantaloupe. That's the one.
Cantaloupe. Yeah.
That's what I was looking for. Cantaloupe.
And you came in with.
Coral works.
I don't know what it is about my name, but like I'd say like 30% of people, like that's what they like.
Gina,
that's how they.
Gina, yeah,
Bobina, banana, Bobina, and so that's why
Yeah.
people sometimes call me Gina Bina. Is because
Mm.
yeah, I don't know why. It's a trigger in some people's mind that's their first go-to.
There's that one, and the one that I always get with Gina is Gina.
Yeah.
The,
Yep. Like the chia
the
pet
chia
thing.
pets.
Yep. That's another one.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just so funny how just that's a very common thing for people to sing with my
Mhm.
name.
Yeah. Okay, so small tank, definitely start with betta.
Yeah.
Or like ember tetras if you wanted to like get like a schooling fish. You could maybe get by with putting a betta and ember tetras together. But something that I'm a little sad to disclose or whatever, I ended up kind of losing all of those emerald rasboras in my betta tank because they were just kind of fighting for food. The betta was like much more active as far as like hunting down any of the pellets or whatever that I put in the tank, whether they were on the surface or if they fell down. And the emerald rasboras, like a few of them might catch one of the pellets here and there, but they just kind of like just derpily look around and just not see the food and go after it, and it either be in the surface or it just like fall down, and they wouldn't get to it by the time it would fall down, and they only eat in like the mid-water section. So I just did not have good success with those guys, unfortunately. But though the betta in that tank is just super fat and happy and healthy, and so that's why I always say just start with the betta because they're so easy, they're so forgiving, and also it's a great way to kind of save money in the fish keeping community too, because they eat a lot less than a lot of other fish do. You feed your betta fish like twice a week
Yeah.
versus a lot of other people that have fully stocked community tanks that they have to feed every single day, or they're breeding and they're feeding like 2 3 times a day super heavy and doing like daily water changes and stuff like that. Bettas are great for like the lazy fish keeper, though, like I said, the better you carry you give them, the longer they're gonna live and the better they're gonna do and happier they're gonna be. But if you're gonna do a 90 gallon, I would say start with something like, ooh, mollies.
Molly's would be a good, yeah.
In a bigger tank, go with mollies.
Yeah.
You can pick so many different colors. You can pick black ones. You can pick Dalmatian ones, orange ones. There's balloon mollies if short, fat, weird looking fish are your thing. Terry's Tropical Tanks, what's up, dude?
Terry.
I was talking about you this weekend because people were asking about tips for photographing their fish. And I was saying, well, Terry used to do some really hardcore photography with his fish, and there's still websites and stuff that are using his pictures all the time. So that's so great. So I'm trying to steer people your way to ask about tips as far as photographing fish with lighting and all that sort of stuff, because it's not something you always think about. And photographing fish through a fish tank with all the glass and stuff is a lot different than photographing people with using more of like direct light from a couple different angles. It's like what's the best angle to hit it at and all that different stuff. There's a lot of different stuff involved. So I don't know that. I try my best, but I know you took some really, really good photos, and I know you've shown those before. So I talked about you and tried to send people your way to start trying to message you through YouTube or something, I guess. And some people already knew who you were.
The other thing with mollies is that if you don't want babies, just either get all male or all female.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, you can get all female, you can get all male, or like I said, you got a
Actually,
big tank. Get like 2 males and get like 5 females, or you can even just do 1 male and like 3 females.
I lied. If you don't want babies, just get all males. I forget that they actually hold on
Yeah,
to the sperm
so
for a long
if you
time.
really, really don't want babies, definitely get all males.
Yeah.
If you get females, you have the potential to still get babies because
Months after.
mollies can hold mollies, swordtails, guppies, all those live bearers can hold on to the sperm of the males for a long time. And they
Months.
can actually somehow through their body genetically like grab onto the best genetics from the male and throw out the worst genetics to where they can just have like basically genetically selective birth, and it's incredible. And then if the water conditions go bad, they'll just reabsorb their fry and they won't give birth at that time. They'll wait until the water conditions are better and then they'll give birth. Because that's kind of what happened with my mollies in my saltwater tank. I was just kind of sitting on them for a while, and the male ended up dying, and the females just kind of sat there. And I did a nice big water change on it, and then like 5 days later, after the water change, I noticed there was like 4 little babies swimming around. So and then with my swordtails that I got from the Triple Crown last year, the male jumped out of the tank on like the very first night I got it in the hotel and jumped behind the dresser. So I didn't find him until the day I was leaving and finally pulled out the dresser after I grabbed the fish tank off of it. But that female, she gave birth probably, I think, 4 or 5 different times once a month since he jumped out. Like I swear she gave birth 5, even maybe even 6 months after the Triple Crown. So they can hold on to that for a long time.
Yeah, we have a 30-gallon tank at my work that has guppies in it. And for a while, right after Lady Diane, dropped them off, we moved all the males to the front 15-gallon. And there was only like 2 pregnant females in that 30-gallon. And yeah, for like 2 months, there was just those two, and they just kept spitting out babies for like
Yep.
2 months. It was crazy. We're like, when is it gonna stop? It was crazy.
But yeah, the reason I love mollies so much, mollies are probably the best fish out there, and the reason is because you can put them anywhere. They can tolerate relatively soft water. I mean, you don't want to put them in like full on like neon tetra conditions, but like if you're putting them like they can handle probably down to like a 6 pH, and if there's like good mineral content in there, they can handle a lower pH. But then they can also go full on marine. I have a saltwater tank set up with that I'm getting these cool decorations for and stuff to make it even cooler since I'm not growing any corals in there. And I got mollies in there that I just bought from my old pet store that I used to work at, Pet Supplies Plus. They were in a freshwater tank that is replenished through an RODI system daily, with like auto water changes and stuff like that. And I just, over the course of, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours, drip acclimated them from that into the salt water and then just put them in the tank. And they adapted super quick. And I've even seen, like, I was at like a Petco or a PetSmart once, and I saw a Molly like jump tanks into the saltwater tank, and it was just perfectly fine.
Yep.
So there, no matter what type of tank you want to set up, you can put mollies in it if it got enough space. And I just say if you got enough space because you want to have babies and you want to have a lot of mollies. And most mollies will get, at least 3 inches, sometimes four, even up to like 5 inches if you have the right sort of genetics with your mollies. I've seen them get really large before. So yeah, if you're doing 55, 75, 90 gallon, I just don't get a 55. Don't get a
Yeah.
55. I'm just going to tell you that now because you think you're getting a bigger tank and having the 4 foot across is nice, but having only 12 inches of depth with the 4 foot across, you just can't decorate it quite like you want.
Yeah.
You'd be much happier with a 75. And as far as coming off the wall, that additional 6 inches off the wall is negligible as far as walking space goes, but it makes so much of a difference when you're decorating your tank.
It does.
So if you're going to go with the 55, I'd say just get a 40 breeder instead.
Yep.
Because based off of actual water volume, it only holds like 3 gallons less than the 55, I think. I think a 40 breeder actually holds closer to like 47 or 48 gallons of water, but they don't call it a 50 breeder. But the 55 gallon, based off its dimensions, it actually holds like only like 51 or 52 gallons. So they're really close together. Or they got that new 60 breeder out now. You can get a shorter, longer, wider tank. But if you want that height, get a 75 or get a 90 to get a little bit more height out of it. But definitely just don't waste the time getting a 55 because as soon as you do, you're just going to want a 75 or a 90 anyway. So just spend the money to get a 75. You're going to be much happier with that. And yeah, you can make a really nice school of mollies in there. And then with the mollies too, like you can put other fish in there if you want. Like uh, you can put like a little school of tetras in there if you wanted to. You can put some shrimp in there. They should kind of leave each other alone. Maybe not. I don't know.
They won't breed well, but
Yeah.
as long as the shrimp are large enough, they should leave them alone. As long as you're feeding your fish often enough, they should.
A 40 breeder holds 40 gallons and more. And more. If you actually do the math based off the internal dimensions, it holds a lot more than just 40 gallons. It's kind of funny how the way that they label these things.
Yeah. Al Wet Socks, hello.
Anyone speaks Spanish?
Nope.
Muy poquito, but not enough to like really get by. If you speak it slowly enough or you type it out, I can kind of figure it out. Um, but a traditional way, like a Mexican person speaks Spanish ultra fast with I cannot understand any of that stuff.
I've been eyeing that 60 breeder, make a sick frag tank out of it. That would make a really
Exactly.
good
I'm
frag tank.
I'm using the 60 breeder for my future cuttlefish tank. I already got the rockscape laid out, and I got the rocks nice and high, so the corals will be almost frag-like, and or really nice and low. And then there's plenty of substrate space too for the flamboyant cuttlefish to move around because they hang out on the ground versus swimming most of the time.
Yeet.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Mhm.
What time is it? How long? We still have like 40 minutes?
Yeah,
Oh,
we have
dang.
until 10.
Holy crap. What else did we see that
Which-
was really cool?
Sorry I didn't schedule the time properly. You know, I didn't realize when I was signing up, I didn't know at the time I was signing up that I was looking at Eastern time slots. I was scheduling it based off of what I thought here in the Central. Well, and I was thinking back in the Central time zone versus here in the Eastern time zone. So when I signed up 7:30 to like 9:45 or to like 8:15 and then 8:15 to 10 o'clock or whatever the two time slots I picked, I was thinking Central time zone. So yeah, we're basically an hour late versus what we would normally be streaming, but we'll be going an hour later as well. So it is what it is. We like to kind of move our stream around based off of the Fish Fam auction and other stuff too. So
It's right for us. You all are
yeah,
wrong.
yeah. It's still 8 to 10.
Yeah. Silly Billies.
We just hopped over a couple states.
Oh, something else unique to the show. There was a lot of big chunks of wood. Like
Yes,
I thought
I
you
was
were gonna
gonna mention
it
that earlier, and I
Yes.
just kind of forgot about
when
it.
you were talking about the
But
botanicals.
there was so much gigantic pieces of
Giant.
driftwood that these people had been collecting and stuff like that. And man, I'm telling you, like I've been looking and looking for the perfect piece of wood for my pond, and I found it. I did find it, but I did not have $400 to drop on it.
Yep.
But oh my gosh, it was like one of those smaller pieces of wood with stuff going all over the place, but it was huge.
Yes.
And it had this really, really, really long plank going up one side to where it's like if I had that coming up out of the water, that'd be great for like turtles or something like that to go on. It was literally the perfect piece of driftwood. But I don't have $400.
Yeah, I was about to step. I was on my way to step outside to have a quick smoke and vape break. Sorry, not smoke, vape break. And yeah, two guys were carrying it in. I was like, "Holy mother chunk of wood! Holy cow!" And they're like, they just laughed, and I'm like, "That's impressive."
But I'm not sure if she's gonna show anything on YouTube or not. But Maria Z got an incredible piece of
Yeah.
wood. The guy that she was working with had several really nice pieces of wood that were like really thick but like flat. But they had these really really cool like markings and like striations and all these different things in the wood to where it's like you can just stick so many little pieces of moss in there and whatever else. Just absolutely beautiful.
Oh, they're talking about the Eco Earth. I think reptile dirt.
Yeah, the Eco Earth. That's what I was using for my tarantulas, and that's what I was saying you could use in like your filter to help make a soft water tank. But yeah, you couldn't use that like in the actual tank itself. You want to put it in like a media bag and put it in your filter versus having it in the tank itself because it'll kind of make a mess that way
Yeah.
because it's not like actual long fiber either. But yeah, I really like these alder cones.
Yeah, I'm so excited to try these.
They create really good tannins. They're not like overpowering, but I just like how they look like just little miniature pine cones. It makes your nano tanks just like pop a little bit more.
You know what's funny? So Tideline does make like these like bonsai trees.
Yeah.
Like they piece together wood to look like bonsai trees, and then they actually have little pine tree ones too.
Oh,
So
wow.
I forget how much. I think they were quite expensive. But I'll have to
They
look at
are expensive in
How cute
general
would that
because
be?
they do most of the work for you.
Yeah.
Like they take several pieces of wood and glue them all together to make a bonsai tree. So it is a lot of work. So the price is understandable, but
But how cute would that be with
Yeah.
those pine trees with some moss on
oh
them?
my goodness,
and
if
then
you
all
hung
these,
those,
hung
if you
them
like
all-
glued a few and
and
put
then
some
have
on
them
the ground,
scattered.
oh my
How
god,
cute would
that
that be?
would
And maybe
be-
some leaf litter too.
if you use Christmas moss and
Yes,
just
because it's a Christmas
oh my
tree.
goodness,
How cute was that?
that's an idea, and that is something that I might do for to make a Christmas tank
Yes.
because I like Silver Creek early said earlier, happy first day of fall. Today is officially the first day of fall, and I had a whole plan to already have a new background for the stream, but I can't release that yet because it's one of the aquascape tanks.
Yeah.
I took a couple pictures of the aquascape tanks, my favorite tanks, and I'm gonna use those as the backgrounds for the next few seasons or seasons of the show, and you guys will get to see cool angles of that. And I'm sure no matter how much these people try, except maybe Shelby because hers is completely glued in place. Uh, some of these people are going to kind of struggle to get these tanks home. I know Geek Boy didn't even want to take his tank home. I think he's going to auction his tank off. But yeah, those aquascapes are going to be difficult to get home completely exactly how they are now.
And that's why for that Pico tank that I made sure that was a solid piece.
Yeah.
I made sure that whoever was gonna buy that was gonna have that same setup when they got home.
Yep.
It is very frustrating.
But yep, on that too, I think we kind of forgot there's some really nice macroalgae in that little tank.
3 different
She
types.
had like a little like the feather type.
Yep.
And she had this little one that looked like little mushrooms coming up.
Yeah, so 2 different types of grape calipa. Yeah.
Grape calipa.
Yeah, there was one that almost looked like fingers, and then the like almost like lily pad looking one.
Yeah, it kind of grows like hygrophila.
Yeah, they're all
The
rhizomes.
not hygrophila. The hydrocotyle tripartita Japan, stuff like that. It kind of grows like that, where it goes out and then pops up a little thing. So yeah, little fingers and little like mushroom looking ones. And then there's a couple sexy shrimp in there too.
There should be 3. The third one was always like really hiding, and that the 2 would hang out in the corner. But I put 3 in there. But
Well, I think they might have only seen 2.
well.
Everything went. The one lady did end up buying the tank, which I was really happy with because I wanted to buy it myself. But
Shelby kind of wanted to keep it. I talked to her afterwards. She's like, yeah, I was talking to the lady, and then she went over to talk to you, and I was like, oh, and I told her, it's like, well, if I end up not selling it, I'm just going to take it home. And then she came back, and I was like, dang it. And I was like, sorry, Shelby. I mean, I could make you another one.
that was the same
I
thing I had at the pet store when I found that tadpole, that bullfrog tadpole in the feeder goldfish. I was just like, man, I was actually really excited that I was actually probably going to get to take it home. And then last minute, somebody came and, no, go ahead. I'd love to have that.
I want that in my tank.
Yeah. What was she gonna do?
I guess I need to make a trip to Florida so I can set up a little tank for Shelby.
One of these days, I do want to take a trip to Florida. I think the plan is next year. I think I want to go to Fishtoberfest.
Yes.
But if that doesn't work out, like if it's not gonna work out right, I might change plans and do like Aquashella Orlando or something like that.
So one of the other vendors came up to me and was telling me about I think Shelby and Grant talked about it on their stream. There's a show in North Carolina, I think. It's growing. I think he said last year they had 4,000 people go to that event, but there are more saltwater because he saw that I was kind of struggling selling my saltwater stuff because I ended up being the only saltwater vendor. The people who were supposed to be across from me didn't show up.
Yeah, I really thought being closer to the coast there would be more saltwater people here.
Yeah, but
and there really wasn't.
Yeah, so
two saltwater vendors didn't show up, and other than her, there was one guy that had a little bitty tank with a couple little coral frags in there.
And I think it was a local fish store.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, he saw that and he was like, you'd have, I invite you. I think you should come to this show where it's close to my house. It's a little bit bigger. There's more salt water. I think you'd do better there. And I'm like, maybe.
Yeah.
But I did kind of already commit to Fishtoberfest. But this one in North Carolina is in July. Okay. So it is spaced out a little more, and we now are trying to actually regularly save up for a travel fund, just a general travel fund, so we can start trying to do vacations more often than every 10 years. Oh, that's right. Your vacation is next.
But I really want to take a trip to like Florida or something like that where I can actually go like fish collecting in the ocean.
Yes, that would be cool.
Like maybe not like actually like fish collecting per se, but I would love to be able to collect sand, at least some sand. I know
Go to
there's
the
certain
tide pools.
I know that's what I was gonna get towards is to
Yeah.
go tide pool hunting and make a little like tide pool fish bowl or I don't know, but yeah,
That would be cool to do with a 40 breeder.
yeah,
To do a
make
tide
make
pool
a
tank.
tide pool tank with a 40 breeder, yeah.
Yeah.
Or just collect, I don't know, sometimes corals end up in the tide pools, sea urchins, starfish. There's lots of cool things that end up in tide pools. Seahorses,
Yeah.
lots of different stuff. So I would love to do that. And with my father fish tank that I built for this bed, I'm going to do some, collecting around my area, some dirt and some different stuff from like the river and streams to make my uh, full food web for the bowl. But I would love to be able to do like a collected saltwater tank, and that's my only gripe about living in the middle of the country versus anywhere near the coast because I just don't have access to salt water like these other people do.
And you know what really sucks? So I've talked about it on the Discord and I think in other people's chats, but there is a saltwater fish that looks a lot like a Hillstring loach. And I think
Yes.
it's called the skillet fish, if I'm remembering right. It's native to Chesapeake Bay,
Oh,
which is
wow.
just south of here. And I didn't realize that, so I didn't plan for it, but that would have been so cool if I went and tried to collect them.
Yeah, it'd be. I really want to set up a nice native tank too. But so Mickey asked how were the lectures today. I missed all of them.
Me too. I was busy working.
All the other shows I've gone to, I always took a lot of time in the talks and the lectures. There was a couple of the lectures that definitely interested me that I wanted to go to. And I caught a few of them yesterday. I missed the one with Kevin Foreman talking about the glowfish and all that, but I caught the end when they were making some jokes during like a Q&A and stuff like that. But today I didn't go to any of the lectures. I was spending more time just hanging out and doing other stuff and checking out some of the things that were different in the vendor room today. Did my time hanging out with Father Fish and stuff and other people, and then getting some more filming of the aquascape contest as the tanks like settled out more and stuff like that.
So I'm a liar. I did go to Dan's fish shipping lecture yesterday.
Oh, how to ship
That
a
was-
fish the
yeah.
best way?
That was so good. And now I like took notes and I'm like, I'm gonna freaking go to where I'm gonna tell the boss that we need a heat sealer. Like
Yeah.
Oh my god.
A
Yeah.
heat sealer makes a big difference.
Yeah, and it was just good notes because we do eventually want to start shipping corals and stuff. And yeah, it's things that I didn't even think about. Like that you
Yeah.
made good points on.
Yep, like he always uses completely fresh water,
Yes.
which is something that I don't know, like going from a tank that is not completely fresh water to a tank that is completely fresh water, like that's something that I would think would stress out the fish, so I never really
I
did
think
that.
Because
So
of the way his system is set up, that flow through system,
Well,
it keeps
yes.
the water more pure.
With his system, his tanks are so pristine
Yeah.
in general that his is totally fine.
Yeah.
But when I like am shipping fish from my house, I will make a fresh water, but I'll add like a little bit of the tank water in with it, so it's not like a full on shock. It's just like they're getting like I don't know, like a 70% water change versus like 100% water change.
The heat sealer is also.
¿Puede alguien más hablar español? Well, why are we talking about speaking Spanish?
I say we already answered that we can't speak Spanish, so.
Bettas and guppies are my favorite. No la mentira de Gana. I don't know that one. He probably just speaks Spanish naturally, and so that's why
Yeah.
he wants to speak. Because I noticed there's a couple different typos when he was trying to talk earlier, and so
Maybe.
that makes sense. He probably speaks Spanish naturally. I
Yeah,
can
heat
use
sealer.
translate.
Heat sealer is also cheaper than rubber bands pretty quick. Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
That was my first thought was that would cut
You
those
don't
rubber bands.
realize how much expenses you make in like rubber bands and things like
And
that.
how annoying it is. Like we run out of rubber bands so quick at work,
Yep.
and it's always like it's a full bag 1 minute, and the next you're grabbing the last little half handful that some the last person left in there didn't say anything. I'm like,
Yep.
freaking, who did this? And it was probably me.
Kelly, Dan, and Jason all would have been awesome to see. Yep. Dan
Yes.
had two different talks. He had the one about shipping fish, and then he had the one about creating of his warehouse with
Yep.
his, creating a new type of fish store. Kelly had the talk on glowfish genetics, and then she had another one. She was the last speaker talking about, CO2 and how you should go ahead and give it a try. Like, don't be scared of it and stuff. And then I did want to listen to Jason with Prime Time talk about his stuff too, but his first talk was like how to save money with aquariums, and I already know how to save a lot of money with aquariums. That's kind of what I do a lot of.
DIY.
And but his wife as well, like her whole channel with the the small scape, I think is what it's called now. Yeah, she has a lot of different videos about like ways to save money by buying things from Dollar General and what cool things you can buy for your aquarium from this place and that place, and great budget stuff. But yeah, it was cool to meet Jason with Primetime Aquatics.
Yeah. Yeah, he came over and checked out my table. We talked a little bit. It was pretty cool. I did talk with Dan from Dan's Fish a little bit more this time. He came up to us the first night. We're about to get dinner and start eating, and he came over. He's like, "Hey, I'm Dan from Dan's Fish." I'm like, "Hi, I'm Gina. We actually met at the Triple Crown." He goes, "I am so sorry." I'm like, "No, you meet thousands of people. I don't expect you." And besides, I'm a saltwater keeper, so that's probably also
Yeah.
why he didn't stick in anybody. But we actually kind of talked about pipefish a little bit, and he goes, "Oh, okay." I'm like, again, I'm not trying to jog your memory. I don't expect this humble peasant for you to remember.
I was so happy that Dan recognized me.
He did. He did recognize
He
you.
fully remembered my experience of talking to him at the Triple Crown. He remembered the nickname I have.
Yep.
And it's so great. I love it. And Dan is such a great guy.
He's such great. He has such smart questions. It throws me off, and I'm just like, I'm stupid after all. No, but I'm just not quite as
stupid after all.
But yeah, no, it's just I don't quite deep dive the way he does into
Yeah.
certain topics. He just goes nosedives
Right.
just into the. Oh, it's amazing. He's so smart. But yeah, no, we talked about how apparently I don't think he realized that clownfish are born male and turn female.
Yes,
Because
so
typically fish, it's the other way.
it typically, at least in freshwater, it's fish are all female,
Mm-hmm.
and then they will have, if there's not enough males, the females, like with swordtails and platies and mollies and stuff like that, sometimes they will actually end up like turning into a male with actual fully functional sex organs, and or at least they'll act out the part. And chickens will do this as well, I found out.
Oh, really?
My sister had this experience, and a lot of people have this experience when keeping chickens. Now, with chickens, they don't actually get the functioning sex organs, but a female chicken, if there's no rooster present, will often get bigger, fluffier, and will start, acting out the role of a rooster without actually, having the reproductive abilities.
So like a dominant female,
Yeah,
essentially. Yeah.
exactly. But with clownfish, it's the complete opposite. They're all males, and then the largest one turns female, grows even larger, and just runs the whole house with her little minions.
Her reverse harem.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, it's a matriarch. Yep.
It's kind of like well, no, because bees are like all female,
Yeah.
except for the males
Except
that
for the
like
drones, yeah.
die after they reproduce.
Well, then they get kicked out in the wintertime. Did you realize
Yeah.
that? Yeah, they shove them all out. They're like, boys, be gone.
Yep, and
Girls club.
then the bees, the male drones, it's very rare to see them because after they get kicked out of the hive, they fly way up high, and that's when the queen will meet them up high and will do the whole dance way up in the air, and then she'll come back to the hive, and stocked up on all the sperm, and she will the female bee, the queen bee will actually hold on to all the sperm for her entire life. There's no like reproduction like further on, and after that queen has done, they will start raising another larva and giving that larva the queen honey and all that stuff, and raising her into a new queen. And once she's ready to go, they kill the other queen or kick her out, and then someone else takes over.
Oh my God, Gina, I posted on Discord today, but you've been busy. I heard someone say they had a 31-year-old clownfish. Yep. I had no idea they could get that old. Yeah, saltwater fish can get older
Yep.
than freshwater fish. I might be too old to get those. They don't usually get that old in the hot.
I mean, if you take really really good care of them,
Yeah.
they're gonna live a long time.
Usually in a bigger tank with like super amped up filtration, regular maintenance. That yeah, you would need to try to mimic the ideal stable ocean conditions.
Yep.
In a bigger tank, that's easier.
Sometimes it's a little hard to believe these people though too, because
Yeah.
I saw a video on YouTube a few years ago. Somebody said they had a betta fish that was like 37 years old, and that he was so old and lazy that he could be kept with like a whole bunch of female betta because he like couldn't even get after him. He was just so slow and lazy. And it's like, well, that makes sense with an old betta, but I had no idea that they could live, you know, 37 years or something like that. Like
Yeah.
that just seems a little much.
A little far fetched.
Like if he said it was like 15 years or something like that, I'd be like, wow, no, that's an old betta. But literally doubling that just is like, I don't know if that's possible. That might have been something like lost in translation because it was like a Korean video or some Korean, Japanese, Indonesian, something like that, where the language was being posted in once and then translated in something else. So
I think somebody's parents replaced their fish whenever
Yeah,
they killed it when they were out of
probably.
town. Didn't want to say anything.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It can be kind of hard to keep track of it too, because like, when did I buy that fish?
Right? This decade or last decade?
I will sub to anyone to translate this sentence. ¿Cómo te va y si tradujiste esta frase ganas? Well, if I had the ability to type in my phone, I'd just translate that on Google.
I think I have the translate app.
Of course you do. Or just type it in Google and it'll translate.
Oh God, I don't want to do that. Oh gosh.
¿Cómo te va y si traduiste esta frase ganas? Uh, Spanish is actually like there's so many words that are so close to English because well English is derived from Spanish and Latin and French and Greek and a lot of other languages. So it's just like I feel like I almost know what that means, but I googled, and apparently some clownfish have been reported.
How are
to
you
live
doing? And
40
if you translated this phrase, you win.
Oh, I think that's kind of what I thought I was gonna say. Like, how
Yeah.
are you? And something about translating something with. See, like, I felt like I knew kind of what it was, but I didn't know exactly how it was. But that wasn't a direct quote. And 31 is old enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reported to live 40 years. I'm good out. Oh snap! Jeff K knew. What's your channel, Gina?
Gina's Reef.
Yep, just type in Gina's Reef. I forgot to
Or
link
go,
it.
or go back to like his last live video.
Yeah, if you
and
go
in
back to the
description.
last live video, it's in the description there. I forgot to add it to the description of this video because I got a little sidetracked and stuff, and I was like, oh well, here we go, let's stream. So
Yeah, just look in the doobly-doo of the last live video.
yeah. Garcia Aquatics just joined the room.
Yeah.
He's gonna be streaming next in about, well, I'm not sure how long it's gonna take him to get set up. We still got 15 minutes left in here. Garcia Aquatics is here.
Y'all don't realize on camera, whenever he vlogs and stuff, this dude's buff.
Oh yeah.
This dude's in shape. Oh
I've been
God.
walking around, and every time I've gone up to this guy, he's like pulled back, like he's scared of me, but he's the one that's got like
Right.
these guns, dude.
He's in shape.
Let me tell you, it's fun meeting all these people in person, and
It is.
sometimes like
There's one great family right here.
oh,
Mhm.
that for sure, and it's just fun because you see people on camera and you get kind of an idea of what they look like, and you kind of put things in your head on how tall you think they are and all these different sorts of things. And Stephen P is really tall.
Yes.
Surprisingly, Garcia Aquatics is not.
Oh my God. He's not short.
He's not short.
He's not short.
But I thought he was taller. Like, I just got this sense that he was like, I don't know, like 6'3",
Yeah.
something like that. But he's like a little bit shorter than I am.
Everybody jokes about how short Scotty is. He's shorter than you expect.
Oh,
Scotty
yeah.
is a short.
And that's Scotty the fish freak, right?
Scotty the fish freak. Yeah.
Yeah, so Scotty the fish freak is much smaller than you would expect him to be. So is Foxy's fish.
Foxy.
Roxanne is very small.
And Dee Dee, I did not expect Dee Dee to
And
be.
Dee Dee
as small as
also,
she is.
Dee Dee looks incredibly different in person than she did on camera.
In a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way.
When I saw Dee Dee on camera, I just thought of her, like, I just kind of got this, like, mom, grandma sort of vibes. Like, just such a sweet lady. And then you see her in person, and she's
like
just,
the fun
she's
aunt.
this full on foxy,
Yeah.
foxy aunt lady, the
Oh
fun
my God.
aunt, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool.
And then I think that's her husband and her daughter,
Yes.
right? So,
Yes.
yep, get to see her family, and some, like, meeting all the people that I didn't have a face for yet. And that's my favorite part about this. Finally got to meet Alashan, whose name is not Alashan, and I finally understand why he goes by Alashan, because that's the area in India that his like fish club would meet in. So they were the Alashan Fish Club, and so that's why that's his YouTube channel name, even though his real name is Tom.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, no, you totally look different. Scotty Aquati.
Scotty Aquati. I have no idea why. I was picturing like a 28-year-old hipster with Scotty Aquati, and here he is, this like 6'5" old. I say old, but
upper middle age.
yeah, upper middle age,
Middle age.
just cool dude.
Yeah.
And it's like just not at all what I was thinking he was gonna be. And so that's why it's interesting, because like you often, a lot of it is just kind of like sympathetic things or whatever. You know, you kind of think everybody is close to your age and stuff like that. But this hobby is very much like 70% people that are like in their 50s and older, 60s even, and then there's like a small group of people that are like
Our
20s
age.
to 40s,
Yeah.
and then there's a very, very, very small group of people that are younger than their 20s.
It's increasing though.
It is
It's
increasing, and we
increasing.
got to do our due diligence to bring these kids into it because this hobby is just it's so much fun, and it can really bring people together. You really see that when you come to these events too, because like you got the fish tuber people, you got the super hobby people, you got the breeders that are just here for the fish shows, and you got the vendors that are just here to sell stuff, and there's so much variety of people here at these different shows, and I love to go to these smaller shows. I've never been to an aquashella, but my general understanding is those are much more uh, the fish keeping industry,
Yes.
whereas
That's more like
these are much more of like the fish keeping hobby.
Yeah, so I agree. I think Aquashella is described more as like demonstrations and announcements of like new
Yeah.
products.
It's like, yeah,
The
right.
innovation of the hobby.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it's like the gaming expos. We're like, these are going to be the games that are coming out in
Yeah.
2023, and they're all that stuff. Yeah, and they're showing the new products. They're showing how much the fish keeping hobby has advanced and all those different things, and those are great.
What's to come versus what
versus
works.
what is and what works. And
Yeah.
I love these little auctions and the little vendor houses. And this was a fun little location too here in Morgantown, Pennsylvania. We're kind of here in the middle of nowhere, but the hotel's kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's not the best hotel, but it's not
It's
bad for sure.
spacious.
Definitely spacious.
And the inside.
On the
On
inside.
the inside.
Yeah, it's definitely a hotel that's set up for conventions because they have this whole big area in the back that, gosh, half of it's filled up with super old cars,
Yeah.
which is awesome because
It's an
there's
old
like
car museum.
a car museum attached to the hotel. But yeah, huge open space for the vendor room on one side, the aquascaping contest, and the fish show, and more speakers on the other side. And then they had hotel rooms for the actual speaker show. There's a hospitality room open right now that I can't wait to go party in here in about 8 minutes.
Yep.
Because there's alcohol and there's snackies and all that stuff.
We can go snack-a-lottle.
Snack-a-lottle.
Oh, but yeah. Oh my god. Oh, Annette. I don't know if they talked about it on like streaming. I'm gonna talk about it anyway. Annette made Fish Fam. Guess Who?
Yes.
And it's so much fun. Oh my god.
Those of you who haven't ever played Guess Who, so Guess Who is this game where you have like there's two players and there's like 24 tiles that have like a picture, or what Annette did was she put our channel avatar picture and the channel name on there. And so you have them all up and you draw the main card, and each player has one person. And so you're asking your opponent yes or no questions to cancel out who it isn't, so you can figure out who the other person has on their card.
Yep, by process of elimination.
By process of elimination. Yeah, and it's a fun game. And so there's a bunch of different people on there that all have their channels, and so we're playing. And so it's like, do they have a face on their avatar, or do they have a fish or an invertebrate? Different yes or no questions like that.
Is their logo black and white? Does it have color?
Exactly. Lots of different fun.
Is this person on the East Coast? Are they on the West? Are they Midwest? Yeah.
Let me tell you. So this event specifically is very much like organized and pushed and run by people that are in this YouTube community. I mean, Skipper and
Annette and
Jenna
and
Matt from not actually being here but doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes and getting a lot of stuff with Fish Fam League, Geek Boy, Jason, a degenerate fish keeper.
Yeah.
And then everybody in the YouTube community pretty much donated money in some sort of way. Gina sponsored the saltwater portion of the fish competition.
Yep. And there was 2 entries.
There was only 2 entries,
But
but they were 2 gorgeous clownfish.
And I got to judge them.
One was a snowstorm, which got number 1, which I'm really happy with because that was absolutely gorgeous.
Wait, I say oh good like I'm not the one to judge.
Right.
Oh my god.
She got to judge them too since she was the sponsor that hosted it.
Yeah.
And pretty much the only saltwater person here.
Yep.
And what was the other one? Ocelot? No.
They're both Ocellaris. They're both types
Ocellaris
of
is
yeah,
okay. So.
But yeah, one was a frostbite.
Frostbite.
Yeah.
So the frostbite is pretty much white, and it's got like an orange face and like a couple like black spots here and there. Yeah. Whereas the snowstorm is like all white, and then has like a couple black spots on his face and like black fins. Yeah. And he's just really, really cool.
He had a Hitler stash too.
Yeah, a little Hitler.
He had a little Hitler stash, which I laughed at.
Yeah.
A little bit of dark humor. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but this event was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun.
And tomorrow there's shutdown and then a big old auction, but I'm not gonna stay for the auction.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start working my way home. And
I didn't even enter the raffle because I was afraid I was gonna get something massive or like took up a lot of space because I don't have space.
I wanted to enter the raffle, but I had to save my money.
Yeah.
I almost was at the point where I wasn't gonna be able to come out, but I was like, whatever, I'm going, and I just won't buy anything. But I bought some things.
Yeah. But yeah, we got like 3 minutes till. We're gonna go ahead and shut it down so Garcia can get some time to set up.
Well, we could do that.
Or did you want to cover something else?
Well, let's see if there's any other questions in chat. It's kind of como te va hoy outdoor adventure blog? Oh yeah, how are you, outdoor adventure blogs? Still alive? Yes, we are still alive, Fish Tropicana.
Yeah.
Anyone else have Spanish for me? Gina and Danny, test my Spanish, please.
I don't know enough Spanish to formulate.
Okay,
oh,
here we
Garcia could.
Padre nuestro que estás en los cielos, santificado sea tu nombre. I say that fast and fancy, but all that is the beginning of the Lord's Prayer in Spanish.
Pero qué pasa, qué está pasando aquí? Vamos a buscar la cerveza, por favor, ándale pues.
There you go.
I always like to have fun and just blab a bunch of random Spanish words together that I know, and then just scream "goal" at the end of it.
That's so silly.
It is fun.
It is so silly.
Oh man.
No, it's been a blast. I'm so glad I came.
Garcia Aquatics just walked in here. He's starting to get set up for his stream next. Jenna P walked in all the way in the back. And Jenna was sitting at the Fish Fam Link booth most of the time. She was also helping get everybody signed in. So she was definitely a big part of this event. So we're definitely thankful for her. And Annette was a huge part of this event.
And that's been running around like a chicken with her head cut off. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Skipper too.
Who's that? I don't know who's that.
Skipper and all them.
Skipper, forget it. He was happy to see me.
Yeah.
Everybody, put it
all these people working hard so that other people like us can just come and have a good time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, stay on.
Sad that it's almost over. And it also kind of sucks we're kind of in the middle of nowhere because I was hoping we could go find a karaoke bar tonight and party the night away, but probably not going to happen. So.
And that's great. Garcia Aquatics didn't have to sing tonight.
Oh man.
No other questions.
Yep, I'm definitely gonna sleep good tonight in my hotel room. I'm a night owl. I'm a night owl too.
All right, but it's 10 o'clock now.
Yeah.
It's Garcia's turn.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, we will see you next time, next week, on another episode of Fishing Friends. I hope you had fun hanging out with us. We had so much fun out here at the Keystone Clash and hanging out with you guys here on this live stream. Look out for plenty of videos from all of the fish tubers to come. I'm sure some people have been posting some shorts, but we want to have all the good stuff for you for our long content. So look out for that. And yeah, we will see you next week on another episode of Fish and Friends at 8 p.m. Central Time, not 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
We'll get it right one of these times.
One of these times.
Bye.
Bye. So long. Thanks for the fish. And the stream, because these buttons are slow on my phone. And I said.